All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Planning and Development Committee meeting of Monday, February 13th. We have a quorum, and I therefore call us to order. Our first item of business is approval of the regular meeting minutes of our meeting on January 23rd, 2017. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And we have two items for consideration this evening. The first is Community Partners and Affordable Housing proposal for the administration of the Inclusionary Housing Ordinance wait list. The Housing, Homelessness, and Human Relations Commission and staff recommend approval of a proposal from Community Partners for Affordable Housing for $20,778 to administer a centralized wait list for affordable units as part of the implementation of the Inclusionary Housing Ordinance. This recommendation is based on the Community Partners' experience implementing other municipal inclusionary housing ordinances. Funding is from the Affordable Housing Fund account, which has a budget of $75,000. This is for action.
Move approval. Second.
All right. And I'd like to invite Savannah, our, let me get your title straight, Housing and Policy and Planning Analyst, to come just give us a little introduction.
Sure. Thank you, Alderman Ravel. Hello, members of the Planning and Development Committee. Yes, the Community Partners for Affordable Housing has been administering the Highland Park wait list for years. They have the infrastructure in place. They also do the HUD Part 5 income certifications, which is necessary for maintaining these wait lists. It is a very labor-intensive process, trying to find applicants, trying to keep up with the applicants, make sure their contact information is correct, and then doing the income certifications when a unit opens up. So they already do have affordable units in Evanston, which they manage themselves, and so we just thought that it would be a good fit and more efficient with city dollars to use them. Great. Any questions?
Okay, Alderman Rainey.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you. Could you tell us where we would go to see the affordable housing list, the available unit list?
The available unit list?
Yes.
That's a good question. That's something that we could certainly provide. I think with working with the Community Partners for Affordable Housing is that we want to be able to provide a more centralized wait list for Evanston residents. There are a number of nonprofit developers that work in the community that have their own wait lists, but this would be a way of trying to work with market rate developers to get them to use this wait list for their on-site affordable units, as well as the other inclusionary housing ordinance units that come online.
Okay.
So
Okay.
to answer, I don't know if I answered your question,
No,
but
you didn't.
I think that that's something that we can certainly work to provide is a list of affordable units.
Is there a list?
Right now, under the Inclusionary Housing Ordinance, no units have been built yet.
Wait, are these unbuilt, these yet to be built units?
Yes, so for the first plan development that came under the Inclusionary Housing Ordinance, it's the one at 824 Noyes.
Oh, okay. So these are only units that are going to be generated as a result of the inclusionary housing ordinance.
That's the intent, but I think that we also want to be able to expand it to market rate developers that have on-site affordable units. One example is the Reserve or 1620 Central. These units or these buildings are predominantly market rate, but they will have on-site affordable units, and the developers or the property management companies might not have experience with doing affordable housing and income qualification, and so that is something that we could look to SEPA to provide.
So you would say right now there are no units?
As far as affordable housing total in Evanston, or?
No. So on your list that you are going to be charged with filling,
Yes.
there are no units.
There are 4 units that will be coming online in 2018 at the Noyes
As
development.
of now, there
Right.
are no units.
Right.
That you, okay, so, right. So what about your wait list?
So right
You have
now,
a wait list.
so SEPA does have a wait list that they've been managing. We also have a interested parties list. So there's a link on the city website that people can go to and indicate that they're interested in affordable housing through the inclusionary housing ordinance. And we have that list internally, and then we hope to merge that with the SEPA's wait list. Usually you go through some kind of pre-application process where people self-report what their income is. There has to be a certain minimum income and maximum income for the units so that they could afford the units. So that's where we're going to pre-screen for that, and then people will be put on the wait list.
Okay. Alderman Holmes.
I thought I saw Sarah earlier, but I don't see her anymore, but I don't know, Director Munzer, maybe you can answer this. But I thought we had units at 1,700 on Ridge and also affordable units. And there's one other place I just can't get in my head so that there were units, I believe, before.
Yes, at the Reserve and at the Sienna, we do
Yeah, I
have
know,
affordable
at the
units
Reserve,
that we monitor. That's correct. This proposal is for units generated by the inclusionary housing ordinance. But to the earlier question, yes, there are affordable units that the
Yeah,
city
that's right.
monitors compliance for right now.
That's what Alderman Rainey was asking. And I was,
I'm only concerned about the unit she's going to be responsible for. I mean, I know about affordable units and I've been, there are lots of them. But she's not going to be, I mean, we have the NSP2 units. There's some on my block. But those aren't going to be units that she is going to be responsible for filling.
Correct. Again, Mark Munzer, Director of Community Development. So this proposal with SEPA is specifically for units generated by the inclusionary housing ordinance. What's in front of you right now. Our hope is with working with SEPA that we will be able to then have a more comprehensive approach for other units that are currently monitored by the city. But as of what's in front of you right now is for IHO units.
so then will we be turning over the units that we monitor now to them? Is that the plan? I'm just not getting where we are with this. It's
There is not a plan right now.
No, that's a fair question, Alderman Holmes. We are actually working with the Reserve right now. They had a change in property management, and the new property management doesn't have experience doing affordable housing. So it is something that we are in conversation with them. Market rate developers have been very receptive to the idea of working with a centralized wait list rather than trying to do the work themselves. So that is an area that we hope to expand and include for the city managed units.
Okay, Alderman Wilson.
Okay, the questions kind of changed my perception of all of it now. So I think it's a great idea to try to roll in some of the what we're calling the market rate units. And that historically has been one of the reservations that developers have about putting units in their buildings is, you know, the work that's associated with that. All right, I guess we're going to have 4 come online in 2018? Okay, and see, I guess I'm a little nervous about, are we getting too far ahead? Are we starting it too far out from the from when it's going to actually occur? Now that I'm hearing the timeline a little more clearly.
Sure. Again, that's a fair question. Another market rate developer that we're currently working with is 1620 Central. They have 2 units going online in April that will be affordable. That is something, again, we are going to try to work with SEPA to see if they can pull some people from their wait list and do income qualifications because they don't really have that experience.
Okay.
So there are some other talks in the works of units, but there could be a few units at least in 2017.
Okay, and we're not going to have to pay extra if they do it that way, right? You made a point of stressing it's just for the IHO units. So if they're finding other destinations for the people on the wait list, would that be included in this agreement?
Yes, so this agreement is for up to 10 units.
Okay.
So that would cover that
So
for this year.
wherever the individuals end up living, it doesn't matter if it's the IHO, it's all part of the contract.
Right.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay. Alderman Fisk.
Thanks. Mark, what's the average length of time that these units remain affordable?
Savannah, it's
I would say the
25.
minimum amount of time is about 15 years, but
Okay.
usually they can be much longer. There are some units that are into perpetuity, like 99 years.
In Evanston?
Yes,
I don't remember hearing any that are in perpetuity in
I don't
Evanston.
think so.
I think there's the new Hack building. I think that will probably remain affordable for a very long time. The two buildings through the Housing Authority of Cook County, there's 150 units there that will remain affordable for.
You mean 1900 Sherman and 2300 Noyes Court?
They're 23 years, aren't they?
Yeah.
23
Oh, really? I thought that those were because they were
are-
project
No,
based.
those are, that's Housing
Savannah.
Authority of Cook County.
That's
Sorry.
correct.
Yeah.
Sorry,
About
I
25
apologize for
They're
the
not-
misinformation.
Yeah, okay, now, okay, so what happens? I mean, if we're talking 15 years, for an average 15 to 20 years for a unit remaining affordable, what happens after that? That's not a very long time.
Sure. I think, well, when you look at the nonprofit developers that are managing affordable units, and I think this is what I was thinking of in perpetuity, it's part of their mission to keep these buildings affordable. So even after the city funds run out and the 15 years have expired, they do tend to remain affordable. And so for the units like at Noyes, that's something that I don't know if we have an answer for yet, what will happen after that 15 years, but that's something we can certainly look into.
Okay, I wasn't so concerned about those two buildings as I was about 824 Noyes or some of the other buildings
Sure.
that are coming on with affordable housing. I mean,
Alderman Fisk will verify that
I
after,
really
I think it's
appreciate it.
typically a 25-year period or somewhere in there. My understanding is that we cannot unfortunately guarantee that in perpetuity,
Mm-hmm.
and that at that point in time, the units may convert over to market rate,
Right.
but that it would be a case-by-case example of the city working with them and what funds we had available, and then not just the city, obviously, but other partners.
right. I just want to make sure that the public's aware of that when we're talking about affordable units, we're not necessarily talking about affordable units that are going to be affordable forever.
Sure, that's a good point.
Okay. Alderman Rainey and then Alderman Tandem.
How many affordable units are there at 1700 Ridge at the Reserve?
At the Reserve, there's 10 affordable units.
And are they of varying degrees of affordable? For example, low income, middle income? Yeah.
They all follow the high and low home rents, so that's about 50 or 60% area median income.
And would you be overseeing all of them, or are?
So that's something we're trying to figure out with them since they're in the midst of changing property managers. We are in conversations with them about how they want to proceed with that, if they want to use our resources, if they want to do it themselves.
Because some of those incomes are pretty hefty. I mean, when I look at them, I think, it takes 7 aldermen to come up with one of those salaries.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, they're not needy people who are making some of this. So anyway, yeah. Well,
Alderman Tandem.
Thank you. Is there room in this for follow-up with compliance through the years? Is that part of the oversight they would have?
Yes, exactly. So the reason why we wanted to work with SEPA is that they already do have that HUD compliance experience. So that would make that part a little bit easier for us because they already understand all of the regulations that could go into that kind of compliance.
Okay. And SEPA has quite a few residents already here, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any more questions or comments? Then we're ready to vote on item P1. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
And our second item for tonight is ordinance 13-0-17, granting a special use for a micro distillery at 600 Main Street. The Zoning Board of Appeals and city staff recommend adoption of this ordinance granting special use approval for a micro distillery at 600 Main Street in the B2 Business District and the ODM Dempster Main Overlay District. And this applicant has complied with all zoning requirements and meets all of the standards for a special use for this district. Alderman Nguyen requests suspension of the rules for introduction and action by the City Council on February 13th, 2017. Do I have a motion? Okay. Questions, or Mr. Munzer, do you want to say?
No, the applicant is here for any operational questions, but it's pretty straightforward. It falls under a micro distillery as we define it in the zoning ordinance.
Okay.
One thing, some of the people in the community have wondered about the waiting area at the train station, and I'm told that that will remain open, so that's good news to those who wait at that train station in the cold, like
Correct.
myself. So
Right.
thank you for that.
Okay, I don't see any lights, any questions or comments? Then all in favor of ordinance 13-0-17, granting a special use for this micro distillery at 600 Main Street, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much. Do we have any other items for discussion?
P3?
Well, that, we've already voted on that and
did
sent
we?
it to council last week. Alderman
I
Rainey.
think we also should move that we recommend
Are we supposed to vote
suspending
on
the
this?
rules also.
Oh,
on the
that was-
distillery?
That was part of my motion.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
I didn't hear that, okay.
Mr. Munzer and I had a little conference here earlier about item P3, and basically this committee had already voted and sent it on to council for introduction last time, so.
We did. No, I meant on the
Oh,
distillery. I
no, the
thought-
distillery, the motion included suspension of the rules.
Okay. Just checking.
Okay. Any other communications? All right, then I call for a motion to adjourn. Okay. And then let's, how many minutes before council?
10?
5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes to 8, we'll start our council meeting.